Amid increasingly absurd debates about nature, Donald Trump's gag orders, and the cries desperate journalists who want people to take seriously what Trump said on campaign trail, it has become clearer than ever that America does not have much of freedom speech. Problem suffers deeply through cost-free speech. We can't help but obsess over the historical fact that the formal architecture of First Amendment law is inadequate to contain Trump's endless toxic vomit of threats, dark promises, or open calls for violence. It is true absolutely nothing in founding texts and theories fully foresees the hellscape that will emerge when political leaders intent on transgressing outer limits of respectable behavior into direct provocation and prudence have access to forms of communication enable society to meet. Quill and parchment are as clear and expressive as a fluffy rabbit. But as we spend days, weeks, months, years asking ourselves how it is possible for anyone to be allowed to say what Trump says, the question of how anyone can tolerate what Trump says becomes almost meaningless. What Donald Trump is now openly promising is completely clear. Take a look at Veterans Day Vermin's speech. In a previous statement, we stated that immigrants come from mental institutions and asylums. It poisons the blood of our country. And promised to aggressively deport resident aliens with jihadist sympathies. Gone or hazy. Illusions that he only wanted to make America safe. The double and triple meanings that we have been analyzing in the press for days are now behind us. Donald Trump used to be said to have mistakenly said the quiet parts out loud. But now he's quite consciously singing fascism on the stump. He now openly calls for mass deportations, the killing of his opponents, and martial law. As always, there are observers who argue that Trump temporarily lost control of his mouth while saying these things. Let's be clear, these people are making a surprising category mistake. What he says isn't much scarier than it was in 2015 when he called all Mexicans rapists. Despite his subsequent senility, Trump's word choice and demeanor have not changed appreciably in the years since he took office. That's why we need stop asking why the message is still allowed to happen and start asking when it's reduced constitutional elevator music. Two things have changed since Trump burst onto the scene with such bluster 8 years ago. Back then, when Trump talked trash to Gold Star family, insulted judge with Mexican-sounding name, or made fun of disabled person, we all wondered if he really meant it. Indeed, such comments spark days of horrifying coverage, replays, and debate. We no longer have wonder whether Trump really means it when he threatens a law clerk or promises to use the Justice Department, go after the Biden family. We all watched what happened on January 6. Even though everything he said was much more serious, it didn't make much of a splash. It tapers